Hello friends, welcome to your easy guide to English section, and today we are going to start with our first part of speech, that is noun. So noun is the one of the most important part of speech because it helps you talk about your favorite person, your favorite food, to talk about the place that you love or your emotion or even the object. So in the simplest sense, noun can be described as the name of a person, a place, thing, idea or emotion. For example, if you want to describe a person, you might want to name that person, want to talk about the profession of that person, or you might want to talk about the relationship that you have with that person. So, all these things, the words that describe these things are noun. For example, the name Ria, or a profession's name, doctor, or a friend, these are all noun. For example, if you want to describe a place, if you want to name a city, if you want to name a country, if you want to describe a location, say Delhi, India, classroom. This is all noun. If you want to talk about the things, if you want to say a pen, a laptop, a mug, again, these are all noun. If you want to describe an idea or a feeling, if you want to call somebody honest, the honesty is noun. Love, the word love is noun. The word jealousy is noun. So noun is one of the most important part of speech. You can understand it like when we were doing our RC section, and there was this question that used to ask that what is the main point of the comprehension. So similarly, what is the main point, what is the main subject of the statement? It is, the answer is always noun. For example, in the given sentence, justice delayed is justice denied. What do you think is the noun here? It's written on the screen. So the word justice is the noun. It's an abstract idea, but the justice here is noun. So there are two identifications that may help you to identify a noun in a sentence. If a word is followed by an article is a and the. These are called articles. So if a word is followed by an article, it is noun. If you add s or es to a word and it turns into plural, again, that word is noun. Now let's see what are the different types of noun. It's easier to have an identification of different types of noun, for that will also help you again in identifying nouns. So I'll be very briefly telling you about the nouns, and it is very easy to identify them by the name of the noun itself. For example, the first one is proper noun. Now, proper noun is a name of a specific person, place, or organization, and since it refers to a specific thing, so it always starts with a capital letter. For example, if it is the name of a person, say Rohan, so the R in the Rohan will always be written in a capital letter. For example, if you're referring to the name of a city, Mumbai, the letter M will always be capital letter. So it's very easy to identify the proper nouns because they are so proper, the sophisticated ones, if you want to remember them. It's always a one of a kind. So the first letter of that word is always written in capitals. For example, if you have to write India is a large country, so you always write I of India in capital letters. Or I love to read Shakespeare. Again, Shakespeare is the name of a specific person, a specific playwright. So the S in the Shakespeare is always in the capitals. Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is in Agra. So here T would be in capital letters, and even the A of Agra would be in capital letters. So proper noun are a specific, they refer to a specific person, place, and organization. Okay. Now common noun. Again, it's like in the name only. It's common. Who cares? Generic. So it refers to the name of general items. And unlike the proper nouns, they are not specific. So of course, they will not start with capital letter. So the generic category, city, book, woman, university, these are generic words. They do not refer to one specific thing. So hence, these are common noun. So again, unlike the proper ones, it will always be in small letters. So while you will write the name of the city, say Mumbai, specific name in capitals, the word city itself will be written in small, not in capital letters. So that's common noun. Now, collective noun, as the name itself refers, collective. It's a collection, a group of individual or a group of other things. These are collective nouns. So, for example, team. A team is a group of individual. For example, your cricket team. It has so many different individuals. It has Virat Kohli. It has Ravindra Jadeja. It has, I don't know why even am I getting into this. I really do not know anything about the team. So, I mean, you get the idea. It's a group of individual. Family. A family has mother, father, sister, daughter. So it's a group. The word family encapsulates a group of individuals. So similarly, jury. Jury encapsulates a group of individuals who sit and pass a judgment. A flock, again, it's a group. Committee, again, it's a group of individual who'll sit and they'll work on some topic and come up with some report, which I don't know, government will follow or not follow, will go in the dusty offices or whatever. That's not the subject, but still. So the committee. So for example, in these statements, a pride of lion. So pride is the word that refers to a group of lion. A bouquet of flower. The bouquet here again, a group, it's group of flowers, many flowers. A bouquet cannot be just one flower. So bride, bouquet, swarm, a swarm of bees. Swarm is again, it refers to the group of bees. So all these words that indicate a group, these are collective nouns. Okay, as the word itself is telling, collective is collection, so it's always referring to a group. Now, abstract noun. The word abstract refers to something that is not physical or tangible, that is conceived in the mind. It doesn't exist in the real world, it exists in the mind only. So, it refers to the name of ideas, emotions, or qualities. For example, honesty or courage, wisdom, pain, freedom. All these things are not existing in the real world. They exist in mind because you cannot touch honesty. You cannot touch the courage. These are the ideas that are expressed through actions, but the quality or the idea or emotion is something that is abstract, that is exists in mind. So these are abstract noun, okay? And often they are formed from adjective or adverb. For example, honesty is from honest. Honest is a quality. That is an adjective. Honesty is a noun. Okay. Now, material noun. Again, very easy to understand from the name itself. When, for example, when you go to a shop and you look at a jewelry, you ask, no, what material is this? Is this gold? Is this silver? What exactly is this? So, material is something, name of a substance or a material from which something is made of. So, for example, gold, silver, even water, cotton, oil, rice, these are all material, physical things. They refer to material nouns. Okay. So these were the different types of noun, and we'll quickly do this exercise just to settle with these idea of various types of noun. So the first statement is, so we have to identify the noun in each of the following statements. The first statement is, the teacher gave us homework. So the word teacher here, which type of noun is this? The teacher is very specific, no? No, a teacher is a generic term. It's name of a profession, and there can be so many different types of teachers. There can be a math teacher, there can be science teacher, there can be sociology teacher. So teacher is common. It's a generic word. So it's a common noun. Now, statement Ria loves chocolate. Ria is a specific name of a person. And see, the first letter R is also capitalized. If Ria was somewhere in the middle of the statement, then also the letter R would have been capitalized because it's proper, it's sophisticated, like I said. So, I mean, sophisticated is only a way for, I'm using this word just so that you can remember it. It's not necessarily sophisticated like that. Anyway, so the third statement, we must fight for freedom. Freedom here is an abstract idea, so abstract noun. The gold is made of, sorry, the ring is made of gold. Here, gold is the noun, which is, yes, material noun. The team won the championship. Now, the team here refers to a collection. So, it is obviously collective noun. I bought 3 books yesterday. Book is the noun here, and it is, yes, common noun. Please give me some information. What is this word information here? Which type of noun do you think is it? Is it common noun? Is it proper noun? Is it material noun? You cannot touch the information. So, of course, it is abstract noun. Again, it's an abstract thing. Information is something does not exist in real world. You cannot touch it. You can only like know it. It's conceived in mind or transferred in different form. Now, the last statement, Mount Everest is the highest peak. So, Mount Everest is a specific name of a mountain. It's very specific. So, it's proper noun. Another exercise. So, you have to spot the one that does not belongs to the rest. For example, honesty, anger, run, joy. So we see here honesty, anger, and joy are all abstract nouns, and the word run is not one of them. So run is the odd one out. Statement 2, Apple, mango, banana, sweet. Which one is the odd one out? Again, apple, mango, banana are all a common noun, and sweet is not one of the is not the one that matches with the rest of the three, so it's the odd one out. The third question: iron, wood, dance, gold. Which one is the odd one out? Again, iron, wood, and gold are all material now, and the dance is not one of them, so that's the odd one out. And the fourth one is quite easy: Mumbai, Delhi, India, walk. So Mumbai, Delhi, India are all proper noun. They all see the first letter in all of them are capitalized, and the word walk is the odd one out. So here is the answers. Now, we get to the most important part, which is the rules. How these different kind of nouns are used, and this is why it was important to understand different types of nouns. So, the first is proper noun. How do you use the proper noun? The proper nouns are typically singular and as because they refer to unique entity. Now, so if there is a girl named Ria in your class, so this she's one single unit. There are that one Ria is one Ria. So she's unique. So they are always singular. India is one unique country. So India is always used as singular. India is a democratic country. India are a democratic country will not be there because India is again singular. They're always referred to one of a kind. So they will always be singular and never plural. For example, Neha lives in Bangalore. So Neha is singular. So it will always be used in singular. With proper nouns, they are in singular. But there is no such thing as always that exists because even in the RC I've told you that always is a very extreme language, so there are always exceptions. Again, always. So you see there is always some loophole in the word always, so it's very very dangerous word. So whenever I am using always in the lectures, it refers to most of the time, because for us it is important to understand what is true most of the times, and that will help us in solving the questions, because if we get into exception all the time and the questions are not asked on it, it's of no use for us, only it will cause some confusion for us. So even when I'll try to use the word most of the time, but for the sake of less confusion, I'll use the word always, but there will be exception in these rules. Some of the times we'll discuss the exceptions, and sometimes if I think they're not important from the examination point of view, I won't discuss the thing. So while they are always pretty much always singular, there are some of the cases when these proper nouns may appear in plural. For example, if they are referring to families or surnames collectively. So you might have seen in front of houses there are nameplates called Sharmas or the Guptas. So for example, there are statements like the Sharmas are visiting us or the Guptas hosted the party. So in this case, they are referring to a group of families. So while Gupta itself is a proper noun, but Guptas can be used in the specific case. Or, for example, if they are talking about multiple people or things with the same name. For example, you are saying there are two Riyas in my class. So, here, while the Riya refers to a unique person named Riya, but here you are referring to two people who are Riya. So, two Riyas in my class. So, again, this is an exception, and generally, for like mostly, you have to understand that proper noun is singular only. So, yes, plural forms are possible, but they refer to people or instances and not to generalize the proper noun itself. Okay. Now, verb agreement rule with proper noun. Proper nouns are grammatically singular and thus take singular verb. So, like I said, you might even forget that plural forms of proper noun exist. I just told you those things because you might come across those words in newspapers and then you might be confused. But for the sake of examination, you might just want to forget that the proper nouns exist in plural form, because for the understanding of examination, they are pretty much always singular, and hence they will always use a singular verb. So, for example, the statement Russia has signed the treaty. So, since Russia is a proper noun, name of a country, it will be followed by has and not have. Has because it's a singular. Russia have signed the treaty would have been wrong. Or Mohan teaches history. So, since Mohan is unique name, there is one person Mohan who teaches history. So, it will be followed by teaches and not teach. Similarly, in the statement, India is known for its cultural diversity. It will never be like India are known for its cultural diversity, because India proper noun, which is always singular and hence followed by singular verb. Okay. Now the article usage. Proper nouns do not usually take a or an, because again, they are already unique. So you never say a Delhi is a crowded city. You always say Delhi is a crowded city. But there is again one exception to this, that when they are referred to as common noun. For example, if there is a person who plays amazing cricket in your, say, class, you'll say, oh, he's a Tendulkar, yaar. So, Tendulkar here is not the Sachin Tendulkar person per se, but you're saying that this person is like Tendulkar. So, in that case, the Tendulkar becomes a common noun. So, in that case, the plural usage is there, or somebody who dances very well. You say, oh, she's a Madhuri Dixit. Here, Madhuri Dixit, while Madhuri Dixit is one unique person, but in this case, Madhuri Dixit has been used for that person in your class who dances very well. So, Madhuri Dixit in that case becomes a common category. So in these case, it turns to the article usage becomes plural, because here it has become a common category that it is representing. Okay. But again, this is a unique exception for your understanding. More often than not, the article a and is not used because they do not take these articles, and they are referred to a unique. Proper nouns are referring to a unique name or a thing. Okay. A Delhi is crowded is not correct. Delhi is a crowded city. So again, in the easiest terms, they are singular and they follow singular verb, and they do not take a or an article. Just one line for these two slides. At this point, you just have to remember one rule, that proper nouns are expressed as singular. They follow singular verb, and they do not take a or an articles. Okay. So I have mentioned exceptions again, just so that if you come across these things, sometimes you're not confused. But for the you, for exam purpose, if you know this mota rule, that they are expressed as singular, follow a singular verb, and do not take a or an, you'll be okay with proper nouns. Okay. Now, the quantifier usage. Quantifiers are the word that express the quantity. For example, you use the word some, many, much. So these are expressing no quantity, how much, how many. So these are quantifiers. So proper nouns generally do not use quantifiers like some, many, much, few, or several, because these words apply to indefinite quantities, while proper nouns are definite and unique. Now, there cannot be some India. This is the India is one whole unit. You cannot say much India. There is no less India, there is no few India, because India is one whole unit. So these quantifiers are not used before proper nouns. Okay. Many Indias exist in the world. It's wrong. India is unique in its diversity. So these quantifiers are not used before proper noun. So what are the rules that we understood from this? That they are expressed as singular. They follow singular verb. There is no usage of a or an before proper noun, and that there are no quantifiers to be used before proper noun. Just these. Okay. Now, a recap. What are some of the common mistakes that students commit, which must be avoided? Not capitalizing the proper nouns. So, Delhi is the capital of India. So, here D of the Delhi should be in capital letters. Or using a or an before the proper noun. Again, that's wrong. Mount Everest is tall. This is wrong. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain. Mount Everest is a unique name. There is no need to follow it with a or an. Then using quantifiers with proper nouns unnecessarily. So in a statement, say many Nehas are reading the book. Again, I mean, unless there are so many girls named Nehas who are Neha sitting in a row and reading the book, you cannot call this. It's like pretty unlikely scenario. So you say Neha is reading book. Then verb disagreement with the names that appear plural. So the United States. Now United States is the name of a country. So while it ends with S and it appears to be plural, it is not plural. So the United States is a very large country. And the United States are a very large country is wrong. So the United States is a very large country. Why? Because the United States is the name of a country. It's a proper noun. Proper nouns are singular and followed by a singular verb. So is and not are. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now we come to the common noun. A common noun singular usage are common nouns are often expressed with a or an if they are indefinite, and the if they are specific. So if they are referring to one item, person, or place, then the word a or an is used. I'll explain what indefinite and specific means. So a boy is playing outside. Now it is indefinite because it could be any boy, a boy playing outside. She has a pen. It could be any pen. The boy is on the table. The book is on the table. Sorry, not the boy is on the table. The book is on the table. We are referring to that specific book which is on the table. A pen can be a generic pen. So if it is a generic pen, it will be followed by it will be preceded by an a or an based on the vowel usage. Or if it is referred to a specific book, which is that history book that is kept on the table, then that specific thing will be followed by a the. Okay, so that's the difference between indefinite and specific. A boy could be any boy. Boys playing outside, or pen kept in a pen stand. But if you're referring to that specific blue pen in the pen stand, then it becomes specific. And for specifics, we use the, and for indefinite, we use a or an. Now, for the plural form of common noun, no article will be used when referring to things in general or non-specific sense. So, dogs are loyal animal. So, no article is to be used before that. Or cars cause pollution. Now, car is a common noun. Cars cause pollution. Here in the plural form, no article is to be used. Books help us learn. Books are common noun. Here, when books is used in the plural form, no need of any article. Teachers shape society. Teachers, when used in plural form, no need to use an article before that. So if there was the case that a teacher has played very significant role in say a teacher named Sheila has played a very significant role in shaping the society, here a teacher will be used, because here in the teacher, sorry, my bad. Here the teacher will be used because that specific teacher has played role in shaping the society, and it is singular. Okay, so the teacher named Sheila has played a very important role in shaping the society. Now the third category, that is the use of the. It is again for an and the rule is pretty much same across all the nouns, that and an are used in common situations or indefinite situation, and the word the is used when you're referring to a specific situation. So in singular plural also the pretty much same rule follows. So in the plural common noun, when you're saying the dogs in that house are very loud, so we have used the dogs because we're specifically referring to the dogs in that house. We're not referring to just any dog. We're not referring to any specific in any indefinite or generic situation. So again, in the statement, the books you gave me were helpful. We're talking about those specific books that you gave me. So the will be used. The students in the front row are ready. So again, we are referring to the students in the front rows, those specific set of students. So that specific situation. So in the specific situation, the noun will be preceded by the. The apples on the table are rotten. Again, we are specifically referring to the apples on the table, and hence the will be used. Okay. So for a and, remember this rule in general. A and is used in indefinite situation, generic, common. But when you're referring to something specific, then the will be used. Okay. Now, never use a or an with plural common nouns. A and an are indefinite articles, like I discussed, used only with singular countable nouns. So, I saw a lions in the zoo. It's wrong because the right would be I saw lions in the zoo. She bought an oranges. No, she bought an orange. Now, in the statement, she bought the oranges I recommended. So here the situation becomes specific because she bought those specific oranges that I recommended. Hence the. Okay. Now we get to the verb agreement rule. Common nouns follow standard verb agreement rule. So if the common noun is singular, use the singular verb. If the common noun is plural, use the plural verb. So in the statement, the girl sings beautifully. The common noun girl is singular. So the following verb sings is again singular. In the statement, the girls sing beautifully, the common noun is girls, which is plural, and hence the following verb will also be plural. So the girls sing beautifully. Okay. Now the quantifier usage. Since the common nouns can be countable, they can be used with quantifiers like a few, many, several, a couple of, some. So a few students raised their demands. Many books were donated to the library. Some friends were visiting today. So common noun again, since they are countable, so you can use the quantifiers as per the noun. Also, for uncountable common nouns like furniture, luggage, information, you should use appropriate quantifiers. So, some information is missing or a piece of furniture was delivered. So, this is one category that I'll again do in detail at the end of this video, because this is very important, and this is the point where students commit mistake. So, information is uncountable. You cannot count information. So you use the quantifier, but you have to be very specific in using the quantifier. You do not say informations, because again it's uncountable, and it is, the information itself is plural. So a piece of information, or the furniture also, a piece of furniture. There is no such thing as furnitures. So do not pluralize the uncountable nouns. So furnitures were delivered, it's wrong. Furniture was delivered. So furniture will always be used as furniture. Again, it does not become furnitures. We'll do this category because it's a very confusing category. We'll do this at again at the end. Now, the common mistakes to avoid. First, capitalizing common nouns unnecessarily. So the doctor gave me advice. Here, doctor is a common noun, and the D in the doctor should not be capitalized. Second, using wrong articles. The teacher teaches in class. A teacher teaches in class. So if somebody asks a generic question, say some aliens come on the earth, and the alien asks, okay, what does a teacher do? And you say, a teacher teaches in the class. So it's a very general thing. So here, in the general situation, in case of any general noun, you use a and not the, because the is reserved for specific condition. So this is a one common mistake that one must avoid. Again, subject verb disagreement. So the boy are fast. No, this is wrong. The boy is fast, because boy is singular, and with singular we follow it with a singular verb. The boys were fast. If the word boys were there in plural, then the following verb would also have been plural. Okay. So it's very simple. Subject verb has to be in agreement. Subject is the noun. The noun in singular leads to a singular verb. The noun in plural leads to plural verb. This is basic. Now the fourth rule is pluralizing uncountable common nouns. This is very common mistake. The informations are useful. No, the information is always information. Information, luggage, furniture, these words are always used as it is. They themselves are showing the plural version of it. We'll again do this in detail, so don't worry about it. Using countable quantifiers with uncountable noun. So many luggage were checked in. No, much luggage was checked in, because luggage is a group. You do not give the number of luggage, you give the quantity of luggage. So many is a quantifier that refers to the number of things, and much is a quantifier that refers to the quantity of thing. So luggage is uncountable, so you do not refer to the number of luggage, you refer to the quantity of luggage. It was heavy, there was like a lot of luggage, very less luggage, much luggage, many luggage. Okay, so you have to keep in mind what is the kind of quantifier that is to be used. Okay. Now, collective noun. So for collective noun, what is the most important aspect is that you have to understand whether the noun is used as one collective entity, or whether the focus is on the individuals that form the collective, or that form the group. So for example, like the collective noun, it represents a group of people, animal, or things that are in one unit. So for example, in a team, it is a group of individuals. Jury, again, a group of individuals. Family, a group of individuals, mother, father, sister, brother. So here, if the focus is on a mother or father or sister, or what each individual is doing in the family, then that means that it is treated as a singular. But when the focus is on the whole, sorry, it is treated as plural, I'm sorry. And but when the focus is on the whole family as a unit, then it becomes singular. So the singular plural usage generally treated as singular when the group is acting as a single entity. For example, in the statement, the team is winning the match. Here the focus is on the whole, the team, and not the each individual in the team. So the word team is considered as one unit, and thus it takes a singular verb. Similarly, in the statement, the jury has reached its verdict. The jury is functioning together as a group with a common decision, so the verb remains singular. So when we are looking at a collective noun, we have to see whether the collective noun is treated as a singular or whether it is treated as plural. And how is it treated as plural? So if the statement was saying the team are wearing different uniforms, here we see the focus is on the each and every individual, because each member of the team is wearing something different. So the focus is not on the team acting as one unit, but the team having different uniforms inside them. So when the focus is on the different, we see there are many inside the team. We understand the word team as plural, and hence after the word team, plural verb are is following. Okay. Again, in another example, the committee were divided in their opinions. So here the committee is there. If the committee had come to one single opinion, that means the committee is one unit. But since there are so many different opinions inside one committee, the committee is being treated as plural. So the committee were divided in their opinion. The committee was united in their decision. So you see the difference. When committee is acting as one unit, it is followed by a singular verb. When the committee acts as a group of individuals with their own different views, then it acts as plural. Now, if we get to the verb agreement rule, if the collective noun is seen as a unified body, a singular verb is used. But if the sentence emphasizes individual actions or differences within the group, a plural verb is appropriate. Again, in the example, the crowd was silent. So why the verb was is following the crowd? Yes, because the crowd is acting as one unit. Everybody in the crowd is acting as one. They were all silent, and hence it acts as singular. But if everybody in crowd or many people in crowds are exhibiting many different behaviors, then the crowd becomes plural. The crowd were shouting different slogans. Here, the separation of the actions is focused, and hence it becomes plural. Okay. Again, for the article usage, or the depends on the specificity. Like I told you in the previous slide also, that or the rule is pretty much the same. You use or an when some generic situation is there. You use the when some specific situation is there. So a committee was formed to address the issue. It's a general statement that committees are formed. So a committee was formed to deal with the, say, inflation. A committee was formed to deal with something, some other issue. So here issue is also generic. It's a very generic statement. A committee was formed. So it's an example where a is used because it refers to any committee in general. On the other hand, if someone says the audience gave a standing ovation, here we are referring to a very specific situation, that okay, there was a Taylor Swift concert and everybody was so happy, so impressed that the audience gave a standing ovation. Here we are referring to a very specific situation, and hence the article the is used. So in this statement, use of the to refer to a specific audience already known to the speaker or listener. So or the rule, I think by now it should be pretty clear to you. And for generic situations, the for a specific situation. Now let's see the quantifiers that are used with the collective noun. The collective nouns can be used with words like each, some, many, or several, depending on whether you're emphasizing on the group or its members. Again, for collective noun, you have to keep it in the mind that whether it is used as the emphasis is on the group as a whole, or whether it is on the individuals that comprise the group. So, for example, each group has a leader. It treats each group as a unit. While in the example, some teams are in semi-finals. It highlights the multiple collective units because there are many teams, and amongst those many, some have reached in the semi-finals. So we are referring to the differences in the team, the units that each team is representing. Okay. Now, the common mistakes to avoid when using the collective nouns. So in the statement says the jury is arguing among themselves. What is wrong here? Why does it feel incorrect? Because the intention here is to show the disagreement among the individuals. So many different individuals in the jury, all the jury members are exhibiting different behavior. So the focus is on the individuals that comprise the jury, and hence it should be treated as plural. So the jury are arguing among themselves. So in the statement, the family are going for a walk. Here the family is treated as one unit. So the family is going for a walk because everybody is going for a walk. They're all acting as one unison, one entity. So the family is going for a walk is the right one, and family are going for a walk is wrong. So in the collective noun, you have to be mindful whether that collective noun is representing one collective unity or whether a group of individuals. The focus is on the unity or the focus is on the separation. Okay. Now, the abstract noun rules. The abstract nouns are generally the uncountable and treated as singular in grammar. So, abstract nouns we talked about it. These are abstract ideas, emotions that are conceived in the mind. So, in the statement, honesty is the best policy. So, honesty is it's uncountable. You do not like there can't be two honesties, three honesties. So, it's fairly simple. It is treated as singular, and hence the singular verb follows it. Freedom comes with responsibility. Again, we treat freedom as a singular, uncountable idea, and hence uh, a, a singular verb follows it. So, for example, love conquers all. This is correct. The courage inspires people. Wisdom is rare and not wisdom are rare. Love conquer people. Again, it's wrong. Honesties are appreciated. There is no such thing as honesties because honesty, again, abstract nouns are always treated as singular. Okay. For article usage, abstract nouns generally do not take a or an because they are uncountable. So justice is important. A justice is important is wrong. Kindness is a virtue. Or a kindness is a virtue is wrong. And honesty is a virtue is wrong. However, the can be used with abstract noun to specify a particular instance or context. By now we know the whenever it comes in the picture, we are referring to any specific or a particular context. The kindness she showed was unforgettable. Here we are referring to a very specific situation that you're referring to some she when the kindness that she showed was unforgettable. So if you're talking about kindness in general, no article would have been used. But since we are talking about a specific context, we are using the article the freedom we enjoy today is hard earned. So we're referring to that specific freedom that we enjoy. I mean, the freedom struggle after the freedom struggle, the independence that we achieved, and the freedom after that. So that specific freedom, the freedom we enjoy today is hard earned. So in these cases, the adds specificity to an otherwise general idea. So for article usage, I think it's fairly clear when a or an is used for non-specific situations and the is used for specific situation. For quantifier usage. Since abstract nouns are uncountable, then typically we use the quantifiers like much, little, some, a great deal of, or enough, denoting quantity and not number. So, because this is abstract noun is something that is like it's an ocean of thing. It's like an idea cannot be counted. No, I mean the whole a good idea, a bad idea. You cannot give it a number. So these the quantifiers used before abstract nouns are denoting quantity, but they do not denote number. For example, there is much confusion in the room. So confusion cannot be counted. No, okay, two confusion, three confusion, four confusion. So it does not denote a number. It denotes quantity. There was a lot of confusion. There was no confusion. There was much confusion. So much confusion in the room. So the quantifier of quantity are used and not the quantifier of number. He has little patience. So patience again, you cannot quantify one patience, two patience, three patience. So he has little patience. A quantity again, a quantifier of quantity and not number. So in she showed some courage during the interview. Again, some, a great deal of, enough courage. Again, a quantifier of quantity and not number. So if somebody were to say many kindnesses were shown, it's not something that makes sense. Few justice was served. I mean, justice is not like a toffee that you give two justice, three justice, four justice. So you have to be mindful of the quantifiers before abstract noun, abstract uncountable entity. So you use the quantifier of quantity and not the quantifier of number. And then there is another thing called partitive phrases. Now, what is that? Like I said, the abstract noun, abstract things can be understood as ocean of thing. You can take them as it's like some big ocean where you can take out some quantity. You can take out a part of it. So if advice were an abstract noun we are considering, so take it as an ocean. So if somebody were to say a piece of advice, that means somebody has given you one advice. Like, okay, if I'm giving you an advice that you have to practice, so I'm giving you one advice. So a piece of advice, no, one advice is not correct. So if I have to express that one advice was given, so I will say a piece of advice or two piece of advices. So we use these partitive phrases to show that a part of it has been expressed. Okay, a sense of pride or an act of courage. So if I have to show courage and there's one action of courage, so I'll use the partitive phrase act of, an act of courage. So it represents a portion of an abstract idea in a singular form. Okay, so we'll again do this a little more in detail. So we have to understand these uncountable things can be expressed either as a part or how much or less. So when we have to express them as part, if we have to express their how many of them, then we use these partitive phrases. So we express them as part, a piece of something, an act of something. So in that form. So this is used for uncountable things, because for countable, so it's fairly simple. You can use many, much, you can use a number also. It is only when we are talking about uncountable things, then we have to use either the quantifier of quantity or these partitive phrases. Okay. Now the common mistakes to avoid. Students often mistakenly use plural forms or incorrect articles with abstract noun. For example, the success are difficult to achieve. So a lot of students sometimes see S at the end of success and they treat it as plural. That is wrong. Success is a singular abstract noun, and the correct way to use it, success is difficult to achieve and not are. Success is singular and hence a singular verb is used. Similarly, in the statement, he gave me an advice. He gave me a piece of advice, because advice is ocean. Just think of abstract noun as ocean. He gave me an advice. He didn't give you the whole ocean of advice. No, you have to take a part of it. He gave me a piece of advice. He gave me a piece of information. So whenever you're thinking of abstract thing, think of them as ocean. And nobody's giving you the whole ocean. You have to take a part of it. You're only dealing with a part of it. So or you are getting good advice, you're getting bad advice. So you have to make a portion of it and then you use it. Again, they had many hopes and honesties. No, there is no such thing as honesties. So they had many hopes and a lot of honesty. So because hope can be still many, and then honesty is honesty only. So they had many hopes and a lot of honesty. So also avoid mixing abstract nouns with quantifiers meant for countable nouns. For example, instead of saying many courage, say much courage or a lot of courage, because courage, again, it's uncountable. You cannot count 2 kg of courage, 4 kg of courage. That's not how it goes. You can either have a lot of courage or less courage, much courage, less courage. So that. Okay. Now, material noun. What are the rules, or how do we use material noun? So, as we have discussed, that material nouns are something that comprise of the whole thing. For example, what is it made of? Though the answer to those question is material noun. A ring is made of gold, so gold is material noun. A table is made of wood. A wood is material noun. Now let's see how the singular plural usage is done. A material noun, the material nouns are generally uncountable. You don't count gold, whole like thing. So it's uncountable, and hence they are treated as singular in grammar. They do not take a plural form when referring to the substance itself. So gold is a precious metal. Milk is good for health. So we don't say golds are valuable. We say gold is valuable. We say sugar was spilled. We don't say sugars were spilled. Okay. These material nouns are treated as singular and hence followed by a singular verb. Now, since material nouns are singular and uncountable, they are like singular verbs. Like I said, when used in the subject, iron conducts electricity, water flows from the tap, oil is expensive these days. So, it's fairly simple. Even if the quantity is large, the verb remains singular. The milk is stored in the fridge and not milk are stored in the fridge. It doesn't matter if the milk is a lot. It will always be singular. Okay. Now talking about article usage. Material nouns do not use the indefinite articles a or an, because you can't refer to one unit of a substance without using a container or measure. So a gold is shiny, it's wrong. Gold is shiny. But if you want to refer to one specific piece of gold, then a piece of gold was found. So again, very much like the abstract noun, here again you have to use the partitive expression. Partitive word itself shows a part of something. So a partitive expression. The definite article the again goes with the same rule. The can be used with the material nouns when referring to a specific instance. For a, an, and the, pretty much the same rule is followed. The silver used in the necklace is pure. The water in the bottle is clean, because we are referring to the specific water in the bottle. We are referring to that specific silver used in the in the necklace. Okay. So the quantifier usage. Being uncountable, material nouns require appropriate quantifiers. For example, some, much, a little, a lot of, plenty of, enough. So there is much sugar in this desert. Please give me some water. So we have understood that when uncountable and something uncountable is there, we use the quantifier of measure of quantity and not number. So there is much sugar. You cannot count the sugars. You cannot say four sugar. You can use sugar cubes. That's a different case. There are four sugar cubes. But when you're talking about sugar, it's uncountable, and hence the quantifier of quantity and not the number will be used. There are not many sugar in the dessert. There is much sugar in the dessert. There is less sugar in the dessert. Please give me some water. Please give me many waters is wrong, because you cannot count water. No. So the quantifier of quantity and not numbers is used for material noun. We need a lot of wood for the construction. We need many woods for the construction is wrong. So, and to refer to a specific amount or unit, again, if we have to, for uncountable noun, we have understood that if we want to refer to a specific amount or unit, we have to take out a part of it, a piece of cloth, a bottle of water, a spoon of sugar, a glass of milk. So you have to put it in some container, and then you talk about the number of it. Okay. She drank a glass of milk before bread. Add a pinch of salt to the soup. So again, if you want to refer to a little quantity of salt, you have to add that kind of partitive expression before salt. Okay. The common mistakes to avoid. Material nouns are often misunderstood as countable because they exist in physical form, unlike the abstract noun. Because with abstract nouns, since they do not exist in real world, it's easier to imagine them as uncountable. But grammatically, they follow the rule of uncountable nouns, that is, measure of quantity and not numbers. So he bought many furnitures. Again, I told you there is no such thing as furnitures. So it's anyway wrong. He bought some furniture. He bought a piece of furniture. So you here the quantifier of quantity is used and not of number. A water was spilled. What is a water was spilled? Some water was spilled, because there was a lot of water, there was a little water, but a water was spilled is wrong. A bottle of water was spilled. Here again, a partitive word, a bottle of water shows that water is now contained in a bottle. Then you can use article before the bottle, because the is used before the bottle now. It is not used before the water now, because water is now in the bottle. Now it can be quantified. A bottle, many bottles. As long as only water is there, a water is wrong. Another mistake is pluralizing material nouns incorrectly. The silvers in the shop are expensive. No, it should be the silver in the shop is expensive, or various types of silver jewelry are available. So the silver material noun cannot become silvers. You can add different, like for example, various types of silver jewelry. Here types is used to show many silver jewelries are available. Okay. Now, sometimes students get confused about countables and uncountables, so I have compiled them again at one place. So, countable noun refer to things that can be counted individually, fairly simple. For example, a book, table, car, chair, dog, pen. You can count these things. So, these you can put a number to them. One apple, two apple, 10 apple, 30 apple, two book, three book, two car, five car. So, these are countables. You can add a number to them. You can count them. So they have singular and plural forms: a book, many books, a child, children. So In case of singular noun, they will take singular verb. For example, the cat runs. The plural nouns take plural verbs. The cats run. For article usage, an with singular noun, a dog, an apple, and the, again, like we have to discuss this, the for some specific situation. The book on the table is mine. A book is kept in a library. It's used because we're referring to general condition. The book on the table is mine. We're referring to specific condition. Quantifiers, very important. For countables, we use the quantifiers that are representing numbers. Use many, use few, several, some. Many students have arrived. We don't say much students have arrived, because this is not like 2 kilo student, 3 kilo student. How much? How many? When you ask how many, you get the response in form of some numbers. So this is a quantifier of number. How many? Few, many, several. So with countable noun, quantifier of number is used. Remember, whenever you come across a noun that is countable, the quantifier of number will be used and not of quantity. Much apple were eaten is wrong. Many apples were eaten, because you can count the apple. So one can answer, how many apples did you eat? I ate 5 apples, or I ate many apples. If you don't want to tell you ate 5, you say, oh, many apples. So that's there. Each student are responsible. Each student is responsible. Okay. Here, each student is representing one of like many students. So each student is responsible. Singular. Now for uncountable nouns. Again, it's fairly simple from the name itself. Uncountable nouns refer to things that cannot be counted individually. For example, water, furniture, advice, information, rice. You cannot count rice grains. Milk. You cannot count milk. So these are, you can tell their quantity, but you cannot tell each and every unit. How many, like you tell 2 kg of milk. You can tell a lot of milk, less milk, but you cannot count milk per se. It's liquid. So they are always singular. No plural form of milk exists. There is no such thing as milks. Always singular verb, because again, singular noun will be in agreement with singular verb. So water is essential. It will never say water are essential. For article, no and is used. You can rather use partitive phrases. For example, a piece of advice, a piece of information. You use the for specific references. The water in the glass is cold. So we're referring to that specific water which is kept in the glass. So the water in the glass is cold. For quantifiers, again, because it's uncountable, you will use the quantifier of quantity and not of number. You cannot tell how many milk or how many information. So informations are helpful is wrong. Information is helpful. Uncountable noun, always singular. A luggage was lost is wrong. Some luggage was lost is correct. Because again, we do not follow uncountable nouns with article a. You use the quantifier some, a quantifier of quantity. Many knowledge is dangerous. I mean, you cannot tell how many knowledge is. Much knowledge is powerful, or less knowledge is dangerous. Okay. I hope that's clear to you now. So this is a summarizing table of all the things that we have done till this point, just so that when you're revising, you can just look at the table and you get if you've understood the thing, you will get an idea of what this is. I'll just pause here for a few seconds. You can take a screenshot or maybe go through it, pause the video at this point, go through it and see for yourself what we have done up till this point. Okay. Now, we like while discussing the rules, we came across some of the nouns that can be a little confusing. So I've made a separate section of it. So confusing singular plural noun usages. So in this, we'll do various categories. For example, nouns that seem singular, but they are used as plural and this and that. So the first category is noun that seems singular and used as singular. So this is fairly simple. These are the nouns that look singular and they function as singular. The book is interesting. The dog barks loudly. Here the noun book, it is looking singular, and it is functioning as singular. So it is followed by an is. The verb is. The dog is singular, it looks singular, and it is functioning as singular, and hence followed by the verb barks. This chair is broken. The noun chair is singular, it looks singular, it is followed by is, which is again singular. So there is no problem in this one. And I've started with this one so that you understand that This is how normal most of the statements look like. So, for example, an elephant is a large animal. So, here again, elephant is singular, it is looking singular, and it is used as singular. So, these nouns follow the standard rules: take singular verb and add a or an if they are indefinite, and the if they are definite, follow it with singular verb. Fairly simple, but the story is not going to stay so simple for the rest. Now, nouns that seem plural but are used as singular. See, that's the twist in the plot. So these nouns, they look plural, so they are often ending with S. But they are treated as singular because many of them refer to academic subjects, games, or collective fields of study. For example, mathematics. So it ends with S, so it seems plural. News, it ends with S, it seems plural. Similarly, politics, physics, linguistics, economics. So all these words, they end with S, so it give a sense of plural, but they are not plural. They look plural, but they are not plural because they are singular, and hence they follow the function as singular. So if somebody says mathematics, looking at S at the end of word mathematics, somebody says mathematics are a tough subject, this is wrong. Mathematics is a singular word, and hence it should be followed by a singular verb. Mathematics is a tough subject. That is the right way to use. This is a very common mistake. The news is on at 9 p.m. The news, because it ends with S, gives an impression that news are wrong. There are fake news. So that's wrong because news, even if it ends with S, it's just a deception. News is singular. So it should be treated as singular, and hence it should be followed by a singular verb. So again, physics was never my strength. It is right because even if it ends with S, this is singular. Politics are complicated because it ends with S. Should it be considered plural and hence plural verb? No. Politics is complicated because politics is singular even if it appears to be plural. This are fake news because news is with ending with S. Should it be treated as plural? No. News, even though the word is ending with S, is singular, and hence it should be used as singular, and hence this is fake news. Okay. So these nouns may look plural, but they are singular, and hence singular verbs should be used following these nouns. Okay. Understood? I hope there is no confusion because this is more a slightly complicated part. So they are mostly subjects, games, or collective field of studies. Fairly like belongs to these kind of category. Okay. Now, nouns that seem singular but are used as plural. So these nouns, they appear singular in structure, but they don't end with S, but they refer to a group of people and are treated as plural in usage. For example, cattle. It's a group of say buffaloes, cow, and all those. So already is the word itself is referring to a group. So cattle, there is no S at the end, so it appears singular. Similarly, police, there is no S at the end, so it appears singular. People, it appears singular. They can be not, there can never be one people. They're always, the word itself is referring to a lot of in the single word. Gentry, clergy, vermin. Vermin are those animals that usually destroy fields or crops, so they are declared as vermin. Poultry. So all these words, they refer to a group, but there is no S at the end of them, so they appear singular. So the police are doing their duty. So because the word police looks like singular, it's again a very commonly mistaken word. The police is doing their duty is wrong. Grammatically speaking, in the colloquial, like in the way we talk, we say the police is doing their duty. But the correct grammatical way to say is the police are doing their duty. People are concerned about inflation. There is no such thing as people is concerned about inflation. There is no one people. The clergy were divided in opinion. The vermin are spreading diseases. The cattle are grazing in the field. Okay. So it would be better if you just learn these words, and then things will be easier for you because otherwise it's very, very confusing. And this is one area where students commit a lot of mistake. The police is doing his duty. It's wrong. The police is doing their duty. A people is coming. What is a people is coming? Many people are coming, or people are coming. A cattle is grazing. I mean, there is, but it's again, it's a group. It can never be a cattle is grazing. Okay, so this is wrong. So these are plural in meaning, even though they look singular, they take plural verbs and hence cannot be used with a and the verb following these nouns are always plural. So be very mindful of these words. Just learn these words and hence you'll not commit mistake. Okay? You see, there are so many twists in the stories. Noun that seem plural and are used as plural. Again, it sounds similar, but hear me out. So the article of dresses, for example, pants. There is no such thing as pant. Again, in the grammar, it doesn't exist, but in our everyday life, people use the term pant. I want a pant. I bought a pant. I bought a trouser. No. These words always end with an S. Pants, trousers, shorts, boxers, breeches, pajamas, jeans, underpants, briefs. So all these words they are ending with s, but they are still plural. Sorry, singular. Ending with s, they seem plural, but they are singular. They are used as plural. For example, I'm here to buy a pant. It's wrong. Or if someone says I'm here to buy pant, again it's wrong. I'm here to buy pants. So here the pants, just because somebody's saying pants doesn't mean you are going to buy many pants. It again here refers to one pant only. But again, if you want to specify that you want to buy one pant for sure, you can say I'm here to buy a pair of pants. Or I'm here to buy two pair of pants. But if you say I'm here to buy pants, it again means that you want to buy pants only. It doesn't mean that you want to buy so many different pants. Similarly, with tools and instruments, for example, scissors, glasses, spectacles, binoculars, goggles, sunglasses, shades, clippers, all these things are ending with S and they are used like this only. Like these scissors do not cut well. You cannot say this scissor does not cut well or this binocular is not good. So you say I am buying a pair of spectacles. I use a pair of binoculars. I use the blue colors goggles, whatever. So these things are always used as plural. Okay. Now nouns that remain the same in singular and plural. So these nouns do not change form when moving from singular to plural. You have to understand from the context or quantifiers whether the noun is singular or plural. So again, the example of these words are courts, barracks, headquarters, crossroads, means, aircraft, series, species, innings, speech, deer, swine. So the word swine here means pig. The verb agreement depends on number from the context. So be careful in the exam with nouns like fish or series. Avoid adding s unless it refers to multiple times. Example, fishes of multiple times. Otherwise, even in the plural form, the word is used as fish. So, example, sheep. A sheep is grazing in the field. Many sheep are grazing in the field. So, even in the singular or in the plural, the word sheep remains sheep. So, there is no change of form. The word deer. The deer is resting. Two deer were spotted in the forest. So the deer, when used as singular or when used as plural, it does not change the form. Same with fish. A fish is swimming. Many fish are in the pond. Series. This series is excellent. Several series were released. Species. This species endangered. Several species are found here. So here again, species remains the same in singular as well as plural. Aircraft. One aircraft was damaged. Five aircraft were grounded. So again, these words again you have to just remember them, maybe just cram them, and then you'll not be confused. Now, numeral nouns. What are the numeral nouns? These are the nouns that are referring to a number. For example, a dozen, a score, million, thousand, billion, trillion. These are the words that are referring to numbers. So hundreds. So if a number is present before numeral noun, then of should be used. Example, 1 dozen of egg. 1 dozen egg. Okay. 500 of books. 500 books.